Have you ever sat scrolling through your phone, watching people go on weekend trips to Europe or showing off their new electric cars and wondered where you actually stand in the money world? Maybe you lie awake sometimes looking at your bank balance, trying to figure out if you are doing better or worse than other people your age. Or maybe you keep hearing terms like lower class, middle class, upper middle class, wealthy and rich, but you honestly do not know what any of those categories mean in real numbers. Today I am going to lift the curtain on something most people never understand: the real net worth levels that separate poor, middle class, and rich in America. Some of these numbers might make you feel relieved, others might hit you like a wake-up call, but either way, after this video, you will finally know where you truly stand. I make videos that help people understand personal finance in a simple way. If you want to stop guessing about money and start seeing the real picture, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button if this video helps you. Let me ask you something. When you imagine someone wealthy, what picture comes to mind? Maybe you think about a huge mansion, fancy cars, and someone who never checks their bank account before buying something. Or maybe you think of the neighbor who seems to have it all together and takes multiple vacations every year without stress. Here's the surprising part. The real distribution of wealth in America is very different from what most people think. Movies, social media, and even our own assumptions have created a completely wrong picture of what wealth looks like. And knowing the truth is not just about curiosity, it actually gives you a roadmap for where you want to go financially. Think about it like this: if you wanted to get healthier, you would probably want to know the average weight of people your age. If you wanted better grades, you would want to know how other students are performing. Money works exactly the same way. Once you know where you stand compared to everyone else, you can make smarter decisions about saving, spending, and investing. Now let's talk about the most recent data from the Federal Reserve, because the numbers are going to surprise you. The median American household net worth reached about $192,900 in 2022. That is a 37% increase since 2019, and one of the biggest jumps the Federal Reserve has ever recorded. But here is where things get interesting. While the median net worth is around $193,000, the average net worth is more than $1.06 million. The average is more than 5 times higher than the median. That only happens when a small group at the top has so much wealth that it pulls the entire average upward. This also reveals something important. The top 1% of households in America hold almost 32% of the country's total wealth. That is 1 out of every 100 families, controlling nearly 1/3 of everything valuable in the nation. This huge concentration at the top creates very clear economic classes. These are not just imaginary labels economists make up. They shape everything from where you live, to what schools your children attend, to what level of financial stress you feel every day. So let's break down each wealth class step by step, from the poorest groups to the richest, and see exactly where the line sits between poor, middle class, and rich. Let's start at the bottom. The lower class, often referred to as the poverty class, includes people with a net worth between $0 and $16,900. The median net worth in this category is only around $6,000. That is less than the cost of many used cars or a single vacation for some families. But it is important to remember that net worth depends on timing and life situations. A young person who just graduated college may have negative net worth because of student loans, but they are not necessarily stuck in poverty long term. Someone who has gone through a divorce, medical emergency, or job loss may temporarily fall into this category as well. What makes the lower class difficult is not just the small amount of savings, it is the financial pressure that comes with having limited resources. People in this group often live paycheck to paycheck, have little emergency savings, and may struggle to borrow money at reasonable interest rates. When unexpected expenses come up, they may rely on credit cards or payday loans that make their situation worse. Life becomes more expensive when you have less money. You cannot buy in bulk to save. You cannot put down large deposits to get better prices. You may not qualify for the best loan rates. It actually costs more to be poor in America, which makes moving upward extremely challenging. Next, we move to the lower middle class. These households usually have a net worth between $16,900 and about $43,000. Their median net worth sits around $61,260. People in this category often include skilled workers, technicians, and service industry employees. They usually have steady jobs and may even own modest homes or have small retirement accounts. But they do not have enough cushion to feel fully secure. They earn too much to get government help, but not enough to have real financial freedom. A single emergency can still throw their entire budget off track. Now we reach the true middle class. This is what many people think of when they imagine financial stability. The net worth range here is roughly $58,550 to $169,420. The median for this class is around $145,200. Middle class families often own their homes, have retirement accounts, take modest vacations, and can handle small financial surprises without falling into debt. But even within the middle class, there are large differences. Someone at the lower end may still feel pressure with every purchase, while someone at the higher end feels comfortable and can invest without worry. The middle class is defined by balance. They can meet their needs today while planning for the future. They are not surviving. They are not rich. They are stable. But now let's move into the zone where things really start changing. The upper middle class. Some people call this group mass affluent. Their net worth sits between $500,000 and $2 million. Many people in this group feel rich, even though technically they are not considered wealthy. Most of them are high earners, often called Henrys, which means high earners not rich yet. These are doctors, engineers, lawyers, and successful managers who earn comfortable six-figure incomes. They live in good neighborhoods, send kids to good schools, and can invest consistently, but many still do not feel rich. Lifestyle inflation hits this group the hardest. As they earn more, they start spending more. The affordable apartment becomes a big house. The simple car becomes a luxury SUV. Expensive restaurants become normal. Even with high incomes, many in this class feel like they are still running on a treadmill. The upper middle class also invests heavily in real estate. They may own rental properties or rely on home appreciation as a major part of their wealth building. They also pay high taxes and do not qualify for most government benefits. Retirement planning becomes fully their responsibility. This group looks wealthy from the outside, but many feel financial pressure from all sides. Now we step into the actual wealthy group, the upper class. This starts at a net worth of around $2,650,000. But even here, there are levels. At the lower end of the upper class, people may have a nice home, luxury cars, and the ability to travel often, but they are still working and still budgeting. They are wealthy, but not carefree. The real shift happens when we talk about the top 1%. To enter the top 1%, you usually need a net worth of at least $5.8 million. Some estimates place this threshold closer to 10 or even 12 million. The reason the number changes is because very wealthy people have assets that fluctuate with the market. One day someone may be worth 12 million and the next day 9 million. But no matter the exact number, the top 1% live in a completely different world. Their money makes more money than many people earn in a year. Investment returns alone can fund multiple middle-class lifestyles. And then there is the top 0.1%. These households typically have a net worth of around $62 million or more. These are people who built large businesses, inherited massive wealth, or made extremely successful investments. They have access to private equity, hedge funds, and deals that normal wealthy people never even hear about. Another important factor is location. A net worth that makes you rich in one state might only make you middle class in another. $2 million can make you feel like royalty in a small town in the Midwest, but in New York or San Francisco, it might only buy a simple apartment and a comfortable lifestyle. In Connecticut, you might need to earn more than $1 million annually just to reach the top 1% of earners. But in West Virginia, the top 1% starts at around $416,000 a year. Cost of living changes everything. The truth is simple. Wealth does not happen by accident, and neither will your financial future. If this breakdown helped you understand what net worth actually makes someone poor, middle class, or rich, make sure to subscribe and check out my next video on the biggest money mistakes that hold people back from moving to the next wealth level.